What can we learn from the seasons, and how can we apply some of those lessons to our financial lives? My name's Danielle Howard. I'm a certified financial planner, and I've been working with people and their money over 20 years. Springtime, that's the time when we want to plant. So what are we planting? What are we looking at with our money habits and our attitudes and our belief systems? What money messages do you have that you have cultivated over time, and do they need to be addressed and maybe rewritten? When you plant a mindset of abundance, a mindset of giving and of sharing and of bringing money into your life with integrity and dignity, competency, care, you're planting seeds that will serve you well over time. All right, so what do you do? Maybe every day, sitting down with a journal and saying one thing that you are grateful for. In the summer, that's when you're cultivating, nurturing the soil. We can look at mindsets. You can look at what financial tools you're using, whether it is tools to save for retirement with Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs. What kind of businesses are you growing? How are you using other resources in your life? Many people think of their assets as just financial. Your assets are much more expansive than that. Your assets are you resourceful? Are you creative? Are you cultivating your community relationships? What in your life can you look at as a resource, and how does that play out financially for you? Summer's a great time to take a look at enjoying your resources. How do we decide how much to spend, and how do we spend it? How do we spend within safe boundaries and with joyful intention? If you get out of hand with your credit cards, you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to ask where my money went instead of telling it where to go. How can you look at your spending choices and make sure they line up with your values? What's important to you? How can you get creative about your spending? Instead of having all the friends go out for dinner, maybe you have a potluck at your house. You don't have to spend a lot of money in order to have fun. And if friendships are important, there's ways to do that without breaking the bank or going into credit card debt. Let's take a look at figuring out what your resources are, and they may be financial and they may be more than that. So write down. Do you have life insurance? Do you have banking accounts? Do you have retirement accounts? Look at where all of your assets are and how they're positioned. Reconnect with them. This is the summer season. Reconnect with the assets that you have. Fall is when we look at harvesting. You're moving from accumulation to distribution. How do you want to be pulling money out of all of these different accounts? And with changing economies, with changing tax structures, how do you do that in a way that maximizes what you have? And how do you have the right attitudes about it? How much is enough? What's enough house? What's enough car? What's enough vacation? We tend to get caught up in what the world tells us we need to have, and we lose track of what's really truly important to us. Are there things that you need to let go of in your financial life that have not been serving you? So it isn't all about just having money come into you in different ways. It's the possibility of letting go of ideas, of thoughts, of belief systems that aren't serving you. Write down a money memory where you have been hurt. Crumple that up and let it go. It's not serving you anymore. The only one that's hurting is yourself. Winter is that time we get to start thinking about how do we want to prepare for the next season. And in our financial lives, winter can be an opportunity for us to educate ourselves, to kind of hunker down and look at the areas of our lives that we'd like to learn more about. It may be preparing for the next generation. It may be taking a look at putting an estate plan together. It may be looking at more than just putting the financial component of it. How about an ethical will, which is where you pass on your legacy of values, your hopes and your dreams for your family. So there's so much more to pass on than just financial resources. You can also take a look at the financial component and look at putting together a traditional will and a medical power of attorney and a medical directive and the financial and legal pieces that will help you sleep well. Take a look at what seeds do you want to plant for future generations. Look at the best tools to use in doing that.